Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalaakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namini. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Deshatarini. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namusate Namo Brahmana Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagadhitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Te Namaha Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanasute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Anantaputi Vaishnavandi Ki Jai Namacharya Das Thakur Ki Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Hare Krishna everyone.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So, welcome everyone. Hare Krishna. So, chapter 16. So, welcome everyone to understand Gita in 18 days. So, today we are in chapter 16, Daivasura Sampad Vibhaga Yoga. So, in this chapter, Krishna is going to explain about the divine qualities and the demonic qualities. So, what are the divine quality and what are the demonic? So, by seeing that, we can develop like that by divining, and we can also self-check if we have those. I mean, of course, we have so many demonic qualities or more actually, right? Because most of us are in the mode of passion and mode of ignorance. So in those, most of the qualities which Krishna states, we can see that now. So in yesterday's chapter, so what did we see? Like, if we cultivate the Sattva Guna, then we can go to the higher planets, right? And if we are cultivating the low, the Tamo Guna and Rajo Guna, then we take birth in the lower planet. But then in the banyan tree. So that is what we learned. The result of the banyan tree is today's chapter. So whatever the mode we develop, so that's how our behavior will be like. If we can develop either divine quality, then we can go up in the tree, or if we develop the demonic, then we go down. So let's bear obeisances to Sri Radha Govind and to Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So if we see in the past, right? So in the Satya Yuga, the demon and devatas, they were on different planet altogether, right? So the Hiranyaksha and Varahadeva. So we know like Hiranyaksha took the mother earth, right? So it was a completely different planet, and he throws into the ocean. And then the Lord has to come in the form of Varahadeva to protect the mother earth. So it was in Satya Yuga. And then when Treta Yuga, the divine and demonic is coming near, right? It is in a different country. So Lanka, and we were in India. So it was in a different country. And then in the Dwapar Yuga, it was both the qualities were found in the same family. So Kuru dynasty, the Pandavas and Kauravas. So Pandavas were they were pious people, and Kauravas were demoniac. And then in Kali Yuga, this divine and demoniac is quality is found in the same person. So that demoniac quality is coming near and near, right? In the Kali Yuga, it is almost near. So in the same person, in ourselves, we can also make out. Sometimes we behave very divinely and we are very helpful, right? And based on our mood, I mean, we will be very good with people, the way we behave, and sometimes we feel like helping others, and these are all divine qualities. But then sometimes we will be very envy of others, and we become jealous, and there are many other. In the same person, we can find this, right? So we are all, in a way, wearing the mask. So actually, we are not the person that we look completely. Not everybody. Something in chat. Yeah, mood swing, Veena Mataji. Yeah. So it's all because we are not in the Sattva Guna. That is why that mood swing and all these things, right? So if we are in Sattva Guna, usually if we are in a very calm mood and when the Sattva Guna is more prevalent, that time we'll be very peaceful and very helping, and this nature we can see in the people. So in the same person, so these are the yugas, and we can see the same thing, the Satya Yuga, the Varahadev and Hiranyaksha, different planet, and Treta, Rama and Ravana, different country, Dwapara, Pandavas, Kauravas in the same family. So in Kali Yuga, the same person, one person, we can find the both qualities. Sometimes he can show humility, helping others, tolerance. Some other time, anger, greed, jealousy, etc. So in the same person, it is found. So these are the Krishna is explaining in detail about 26 qualities here from 16.1 to 3 shlokas. I mean, 1 to 3 shlokas. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, fearlessness, purification of one's existence, cultivation of spiritual knowledge, charity, self-control, performance of sacrifice, study of Vedas, austerity, simplicity, non-violence, truthfulness, freedom from anger, renunciation, tranquility, aversion to fault-finding, compassion for all living entities, freedom from covetousness, gentleness, modesty, steady determination, vigor, forgiveness, fortitude, cleanliness, and freedom from envy, and from fashion for honor. These transcendental qualities, O son of Bharata, belong to godly men endowed with divine nature. So we'll see in a bit, not all the things I'll go in detail, but few of things we can see. So fearlessness. So these are the qualities which Krishna explains that belongs to the person who has developed the divine qualities. Or for us, we need to endeavor to have these qualities to become divine. So fearlessness. Actually, these qualities are basically in the Vedas divided into the different varnashrama, like for and also the ashramas in the sense this Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. That one, and the sannyasa. So this brahmachari, gruhastha, vanaprastha, and sannyasa. So based on that, these are all divided. Actually, everybody can have, but especially it is required. Like if we take the fearlessness, this is mainly required for a sannyasi, because the sannyasi has to be fearless. Otherwise he cannot exist. He cannot survive, because he has to go to forest and he has to live alone, right? If he is fearful, then he cannot. Usually the sannyasis, they know their complete dependence on the God. So they know that God is there to protect. So that is why in the Ashtanga Yoga, we see that the yogi who is meditating in the forest. So obviously forest means there will be wild animals, there will be heat, cold, everything he has to bear. So then he has to be he should not be fearful. And also the Prabhupada says that the devotees of the Lord are always fearless, because they also completely depend on the Lord's mercy, and they don't believe in. Their belief on God and Guru is more than they believe in themselves. That is why they are always fearless. And then purification of one's existence. This is for a brahmachari or a sannyasi again, because that is also required for them to follow certain rules and regulations. And one instance from Chaitanya Charitamrita, where it shows that how strict was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with his disciples. So he had one person, Chota Haridas. He used to be a very good kirtan. He used to do very nice kirtan, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu liked a lot. So any time, most of the time, also when Mahaprabhu used to go to river to take bath, he was asking Chota Haridas to sing a kirtan. So he was so close. So one day what happens? He goes, like usually the brahmacharis and sannyasis, what they do for the food. I mean, in the Vedic age, this was around 500 years back. So they have to go to home for asking for food, right? The patan, the brahmana quality means patan, yajan, dana parigraha. So dana parigraha means taking charity, and whatever is extra, they'll give it to others. So they don't, I mean, basically, they don't endeavor much on saving or earning more money, because they are more into cultivation of knowledge, right? So this person, he goes for that bhiksha, and then from that food that they prepare, I mean, some dish. And then after that, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has, he feels somewhat discomfort, and he feels that some consciousness was disturbed. Then he asked his other disciples, so what happened? So then they say that, okay, Chota Haridas had gone. So who went to bring the bhiksha today, he asked. Then he says Chota Haridas. Then since he's a Lord himself, he meditates and he could understand that this Chota Haridas was seeing a woman in a lusty eyes. He was just seeing, like when he goes there for that. So he had that lusty look on that woman. So when he comes to know that, he immediately sends him out from his association. I mean, he rejects him. So I mean, he after that, I think almost 1 year, Chota Haridas, like he was so much, I mean, he was liking Chaitanya Mahaprabhu a lot. So he was waiting, like maybe one day he'll forgive him. So he used to hide and see him and all that he used to do for 1 year. But then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu never ever again took him back. So he committed suicide. So then that news, the disciples come and tell Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that, oh, good, that he deserves it. So that was actually, it is said that it is a pastime of the Prabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He wanted to show to the world that the who is in that order of life, brahmachari or sannyas. So they have to be really very pure. Otherwise, they cannot teach the general public, right? So this is the thing. So and then next, cultivation of spiritual knowledge. So this is also again for a Brahmana, right? The Brahmana. So he has to cultivate the spiritual knowledge. So the Sukadev Goswami example in Bhagavatam, where he used to go to house to, because when these people go, the elevated soul, the self-realized people, so even the people will get benefited, those who hear from them, the householders. So they used to wait for them and they used to give them the offerings, right, the bhiksha. So Shukadeva Goswami only used to wait, used to go to house to house, and he used to only wait for the time taken for milking the cow. Only so much time they would wait. Because they're not hungry. I mean, they're not really going for the food, but actually to give the knowledge to, so that the people come to self-realization. So that is why, this is cultivation of spiritual knowledge. And then charity. So charity is for householders, because the other people are dependent on the householders. The brahmachari, sannyasi, vanaprastha, they don't earn, they don't go to work. But then the charity has to be given by those householders to these people. So Rupa Goswami is our Acharya who is coming in the Sampradaya. So he has taught, he has given been an example in his life. He has given from his life. What we can take is like 50% whatever is his earning. So when he left, it is said that he got a boat full of gold coins, so much that in that age, 500 years back, you can imagine like how much valuable it was. And he gave 50% he used in the Krishna conscious work for when he took initiation from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as his disciple. And then 25% he gave it to his relatives, and 25% he kept for self-emergency. So that's how he showed. And steady determination. So one who has taken into the bhakti yoga or into devotional service has to be determined. So there will be many obstacles that come on our way, but then we should not give up. So whatever happens, you should be determined that I'll be there in this service, right? And then self-control for all. This is again for all, but then especially for householders, because householders actually Bhagavatam states that two kind of people. One is gruhastha. Gruhastha means the center should be the Lord, and all of their goal is to satisfy the Lord. The whole house, everybody, they work towards that one goal. But then the other one is Gruha Medi. It calls. So Shukadeva Goswami in Canto 1, he explains. So Gruha Medis means who are engaged in sense gratification for own self. They don't remember God. So most of the time in Kali Yuga, we can see that everyone are like mostly Gruhamedis, not Gruhastas. So Gruhastas means, and also the children that they have, that is also very, only for getting children, they used to have sex. I mean, that is the rules in Vedic time. So for only begetting that to Krishna conscious children, in the sense whom they have to bring into spirituality. So that self-control, it is not like unlimited or that was not allowed in the Vedic time. So then performance of sacrifice, and then so through Sankirtana Yagna, and so that is also purification for a householder. So that's how, because sacrifice is required, and in detail we see in tomorrow's chapter also on sacrifice. So performance is for householders, and study of Vedas, brahmachari, celibacy for all, especially for vanaprastha. And then simplicity. Simplicity is for everyone. So non-violence. So non-violence again, not just a physical violence, but also not checking someone's spiritual life. So not stopping others from advancing in spiritual life or obstructing someone. So that is non-violence, not obstructing. And then renunciation. This is also for a sannyasi. Tranquility or peace for all. Aversion to fault finding, all. Right? So here Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj says that if we are always find fault in yourself, but with others, we need to have a mindset to excuse always. So if somebody does a fault, we need to excuse it. And then for myself, I should be very strict. Only then we can improve. And then modesty, these are all for Kshatriya, vigor. So they just forgiveness, fortitude, courage. So this is required for a Kshatriya. And even the forgiveness. So these are all the qualities of a Kshatriya. And then austerity. So actually these are also again the 4 legs of Dharma which Prabhupada has given. I mean, not Prabhupada, it is in Vedas, which Prabhupada has also given as a regulative principles. So the Tapa, Satya, Daya and Suchi, the red ones which you can see. Austerity, truthfulness, compassion for all living entities, cleanliness. So here austerity for Vanaprastha. So truthfulness, Prabhupada says that we should not distort the truth for our own benefit. So it has to be told as it is, the truth. And then compassion for all living entities, it's called as Daya, means we also see them on a soul platform, understand that even they have pain, right? So we'll not kill the animals. And then cleanliness, Suchi. So here it means, in the regulative principle, it means restraining from illicit sex. But here it means that Suchi for a Vaishya in the sense who is in the business, right? So usually there'll be a lot of money involved for a Vaishya, and there'll be a chance like to deal with black money or the bribe, right? Bribe will be there. So he should be clean. So in body and mind, mind and body when dealing with others. So freedom from covetousness. So not desiring others' property, like how Ravana desired for Mother Sita. So that is should not be there. Freedom from covetousness. Freedom from anger. So anger is a product of passion and lust. So this is again for all. Freedom from envy. You should not envy others, because whatever the intelligent the person has, Krishna says, Matta smritir gnanam apohanam cha. From me comes the remembrance, right? The knowledge and the forgetfulness. So why should we envy about others? Because it is given by God. because of some pious deed they have done in previous life, the person is more intelligent or whatever. Everything is based on the previous life karmas. And then freedom from passion for honor for all. So this is, we should be free from it. So these are the qualities of divine. So now Krishna explains about the asuri qualities, the demoniac nature. No belief or faith in God, no belief in the existence of soul, pride, arrogance, anger, harshness, ignorance, desire to be famous, demanding respect from others, do not follow or believe Shastras. So this is Shloka 4 explains. So they don't have belief in God. So the demons, they think that the world has come from some explosion or out of lust. So that is what Krishna says in the next, this one. So that is what they think. It has come on own. There is no creator behind this creation. And they don't even believe on the existence of soul. But if we see the past, like the Ravana, in those days, the Hiranya Kashipu, I mean, those people, though they were so demoniac, but they knew that about the soul knowledge. So much knowledge they had. And even Prabhupada says that the Hiranya Kashipu was so rich, right? Hiranya means gold. He was very fond of gold. Hiranya Kashipu means soft bed. So one who was fond of money and women. So that is why he was called like that. But then this Ravana told when he was to kill her. So when she was shouting, then he said, "Why are you shout?" I mean, I think when he was killing her sons, right? Because the Akashvani tells him that the eighth son is going to Devaki, you are going to kill you. So that is why he was killing that children. And then he says that, why are you crying, Devaki? Because the soul is not, the soul does not die. So that he had it. But nowadays we see, like in Kali Yuga, like there are demons, demoniac nature people who don't accept that even by the Shastras, if it quotes, they don't accept the existence. And pride, this pride comes from the false ego. Okay. Accepting oneself to this body, more attachment. And from that, one is very proud. Why this pride comes? Because he thinks that he is the one responsible for whatever is happening. He don't believe that there is somebody supreme. So without his permission, nothing can happen. But then he's very proud of himself. And then arrogance, anger, harshness, ignorance. So these are all demoniac qualities, and they don't believe in the Shastras. So we can see here, so here the one side, the lady is showing very compassion to a beggar. So that is divine quality, right? Having a real compassion towards the poor. Or here we see that he is unnecessarily spoiling the properties of a government, or also it belongs to God. So it is demoniac. So we always have the both qualities in us. We have to really choose which one I need to feed. So whatever we feed, right, how we water a plant, whichever qualities you feed on, we develop that. If you are contemplating more on the bad qualities and on the bad thoughts, right, so then those only we develop. But then if we focus on the positive side of it, then we can develop the divine qualities. So how to develop these divine qualities and defeat the demon? Okay, you can post in the chat. Or you can also unmute and tell. What are the ways to develop divine qualities? And yeah, how can we develop these qualities?
By chanting, Mataji.
Yes, by chanting.
Being in Krishna consciousness.
Yeah, because chanting is also, yes, very good. Because by chanting sincerely, it will cleanse the dirt, right, from our heart. So our consciousness become pure. Now it is very much covered. Yes, Mataji, good one. Yes, and then?
And then being in Krishna consciousness.
Okay, being in the Krishna consciousness means having Krishna Prasad, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Veena Mataji says being helpful. Okay. Others? Hare Krishna.
being in the group of devotees, doing Sankirtan regularly.
Yeah, very nice. Yes, very good. Yes, because Sankirtan is so important. Even when we do Sankirtan, it is said that even the animals are, everybody gets benefited, right? So it is so powerful because when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Jharkhand forest, so that time when he was in sannyas, so when he goes there, when he was doing Sankirtan, even the animals, all the tigers, everybody were dancing because they were, after all, they are also soul, right? It is not just like animal because he could see that. He can see because he's a god himself. So that is why even if we chant, even the animals in our, if you have any pets, they also get delivered. So the chanting is very powerful. Yes, with that also we can, because the, yeah, because the sound vibration is so powerful. That is why it affects so much on us. So you can see, like if the morning time, if we put some loud noise, loud music, nobody wants to hear, right? Because that disturbs the mind. But then if you want to some light, and usually all of them want to listen some divine music only in the morning because mind is mostly in the sattva guna. So those, because that vibration really change our consciousness. That is why we need to do more of Sankirtan. Is good. So any other answer?
Always keeping the wisdom. It is
Mataji,
realization of our own form.
can you come again once again?
Always keeping the wisdom with us. That
Okay.
is realizing one's own form, that we are ourselves are the form of God.
Yeah, so
sticking to the
always
godly body.
remembering that I am a soul, right? So my form is I am being a spirit soul. So yes, then what happens? Then we won't get much disturbed by whatever happening around us, right? When we know that I am soul, then why should I be bothered much when somebody is telling me something or for that honor, dishonor? So that comes when I keep telling myself that I am this soul, I am not this body or mind, right? I am not this subtle body either. I'm not this subtle body, because when this mind, intelligence, and this is different from the soul. Soul is really pure. Okay. Okay, next we'll see. So basically the association is also very important. Okay. So the association is very important to develop the divine qualities. When we associate with divine nature, the people who are who have divine nature, obviously we also develop those qualities. So when the example here we can see, if there is a rotten apple and we are keeping a nice apple with it for a long time, what will happen? Even the nice apple gets spoiled, right? So similarly, so in a basket we have a jasmine. So if we put a in a basket, what will happen? The whole basket will smell very, will get a nice fragrance. So when that is why we say that association is very important. So if we have to develop more of divine nature and we need to improve in our self in spiritual life, so obviously we need a connection with the devotees. So that is why just don't leave this course after 18 days. You need to continue in level 2, level 3, and like that. So that you have that connection. So some or other way, you should be connected with the temple, either attend the morning japa section if possible, and the Bhagavatam morning classes. Okay, try to attend that so that you can be in a good association. So the wrong association, we develop all demonic qualities, because that's how we get from the other person also. So we need to be in a right association. So the purification process. So devotional services like chanting, hearing shastras, honoring prasad. So these are all purifies us. So it will work on our consciousness level and also on our mind level, because the lust is said to be in the 3 places. It comes in chapter 3, where Krishna says that the place of lust is in the mind, intelligence, and senses. So it is spread in all these 3 strings. So how do we purify all our mind, our intelligence? Because even intelligence can misguide us if we are more attracted to sense objects. So how can we purify it? By doing this chanting and hearing these things. Daivi sampad vimokshaya nibandhaya surimata ma shaucham Sampadam Daivim Abhijato Asi Pandava. The transcendental qualities are conducive to liberation, whereas demonic qualities make for bondage. Do not worry, O son of Pandu, you are born with the divine qualities. So Arjuna has a doubt because he wanted to kill, he was supposed to kill his guru and his family members, everyone. So he felt like maybe I have some demonic quality because I have to kill. So Krishna is assuring, don't worry, because you are born with divine quality, Arjuna. So Krishna, and also Prabhupada says there in purport that for a Kshatriya, it is a transcendental thing for having that quality. He has to fight. If he gives up, then that is not good for him. So that is not conducive for liberation. So when we develop the divine qualities, it is conducive for liberation. So when to start this devotional life? So Prahlad Maharaj says that we have to start it as early as possible in Kaumaram Acharato Pragna, means start when you are a very little boy. And then Dhruva Maharaj also, he had also taken at the age of 5. And we have example of many people we have in the, even the Narada Muni in his previous life before becoming Narada, he was as a kid, he took the spiritual life. And then all glories to Srila Prabhupada. So Srila Prabhupada also, from very childhood, he was a great devotee of the Radha Govind. So he had also, we know, he had done the Rath Yatra, Jagannath Rath Yatra. So what happens? What happens in the small age when we connect with the God, so that automatically when you connect with the higher nature, we develop that divine qualities. So it is easy for the thoughts, because once we develop certain thing after some age, it becomes our belief systems has changed. So there's a famous saying, right? So you can't teach an old dog new trick. So what does that happen? So it becomes very difficult to take something new or to accept something. So, but then when they're children, if we teach them, so they will take very easily. But nevertheless, even whatever age we have got, so we should not be, because everybody has their own time. And after all, age is just a number, right? Because everybody has to, it's not just this life. We have taken so many lives already, millions of lives. So that's not a problem. At least if we take whatever age we have taken, we have to continue till our life, so that we get a good life in, at least in the next life. Okay, Ajay Prabhu. So yes, so we need to be serious in this. So there's a life cycle. So the 6 stages which we go through, right? So basically, so it's better to take at an early age. So the 6 qualification we are all proud of: wealth, right? So it is basically the 6 opulence that Krishna has. So everybody wants those opulence. So if somebody has, people give them respect in material world. So somebody who is wealthy is very much respected. Somebody has a good education, he also gets more respect, right? So Einstein, Ambani. And then for beauty, somebody is very beautiful, people praise them. And then austerity, if somebody is like a sannyasi doing very austere, if he is very austere, he also gains respect, because people give respect for his austerity, and because he has given up everything, the family, and he is into the preaching, or he's giving that knowledge of, he's sharing his wisdom with others on spiritual life. So that is also respected. And the youth, so everybody wants to be on the youth. And then good family, so somebody is having a good heritage, born in a very nice family, so obviously they get that respect automatically. So there's a Kunti prayer in Bhagavatam. Janmaishvarya Shruta Shribihi Yedhatma Yedhamana Madhapuman Naivarhati Abhidhatum Vai Tvam Akinchana Gocharam. My Lord, your lordship can easily be approached, but only by those who are materially exhausted, one who is on the path of material progress, trying to improve himself with respectable parentage, great opulence, high education, and bodily beauty, cannot approach you with sincere feeling. So here it's very difficult. It's a very, she's in a very exalted position and is a very pure devotee. He cannot ask, and there are many prayers of Kunti, and Prabhupada likes this, actually, Prabhupada's favorite Kunti prayer. So, because she says that she asked for the problem also, because so that I cannot forget you. So always you will be with me, because this was the time, this prayers by Kunti, when Lord Krishna was winding up his pastimes and leaving to spiritual world, right? He was leaving. So that time she starts her prayers. So here she's saying that the people who are until where they're attached very much to sense enjoyment, right? And until they're not fed up with the material world, like by seeing whatever is happening, because once a person understands that it's all temporary and it is not permanent, and also the miseries are continuous, it is never end, or these things, when person realize, when unless he becomes materially exhausted, he cannot sincerely approach Lord. Otherwise, what happens most of the time, we go to Lord for fulfilling our wishes, right? We ask God, I want this, I want that. So something gain we need something. For that only most of the time people go. So Krishna says, right, the 4 kind of people who come to Krishna. Who are those 4 people? Pious people who come to Krishna. Is it in chapter 7? I think in chapter 7 we saw, right? Who are the 4 peoples? Somebody can tell. Chaturvida bhajante mam jano sukritino arjuna artho arthartho jignasi jnani cha bharatarshabha. So who are the 4 people who go to Krishna? Artho means one is in problem. So I mean, not a material problem, is some other problem. Like, so then that person goes. Means who is unhappy, he's dissatisfied in life, such person goes. And then Artharthi, who wants money. So that person goes, Artharthi. And then Jnani, Jignashu means one who is interested in knowing about God. So that person goes. And the Jignasu Jnani. Jnani means who already knows that Krishna is the source and causes of all causes. Sarva Karana Karana, Ishvara Parama Krishna, Sachidananda Vigraha, Anadiradir Govinda, Sarva Karana Karana. But then again, he want to know more. So that is what is the position of a pure devotee. They always want to hear more. Vidura also, though he was a Yamaraj, he knew everything, but he goes to Maitreya Muni. When the Mahabharata war was happening, he was not there. He went on a pilgrimage to hear about the glory of the Lord from the pure devotees. So that is what here she says, that if somebody is trying to improve their respect, parentage, or opulence, the rich, so this person cannot go to Krishna very sincerely. Pravrittincha nivrittincha janana vidurasuraha na shaucham napi cha acharo na satyam teshu vidyate. Oh, there's no. Okay, where is the translation? Translation is not there. Okay, let me open. Okay, those who are demoniac do not know what is to be done, what is not to be done. Neither cleanliness nor proper behavior nor truth is found in them. So they do not know what to be done and what not to be done, because they don't take guidance from Shastras. So how will they know? Because they on their own, they believe more on themselves than on Shastras and this one. So they don't believe in that. So and they're not clean. So we can see by their behavior, right? Not following, if somebody is not following any of the 4 regulative principles. So they are not clean. And then we can see that the people, they're all the na satyam. So there's no truth in them. So even we see like in the commercials, right? Most of the people who are so-called heroes or who are in the good, I mean, they have so many followers, but then they also misguide. So they don't usually use those products, but for money, they give advertisement, right? But then by seeing them, many people can follow that. So that is very bad. There's no truth. So this is not a good habit. And even they come give advertisement for the alcohol and these things also. And even the advertisement they show as though they are like a very, the people who are taking all this are in a very exalted position, right? They'll be very well dressed and all that. But actually in the reality, it is not so. Like, I mean, there'll be so many problems if we get addicted to these habits, but that is not sure only. So there's no truth there. So what happens is that, so example, how we get addicted, so such things is like slowly, because nobody becomes a drunkard in one day, right? Or little somebody asks them to take, and slowly they develop the taste, and they become it becomes addiction for them. I mean, they become addicted to that. So just like a frog, if a frog is put in a boiling water, okay, so what will happen? It will immediately jump out. But then if you put the frog in the water and then keep the water to boil, what happens? It tries to survive there, but then finally it will die. So that's how we don't understand the consequences of the bad habits. So we slow little, it's okay. Only little, like that they start, the children also in colleges. So, right. And then it becomes a addiction. Asatyam apratiஷ்ഠம் te jagad ahur anishwaram aparaspara sambhutam kim anyat kamahaitukam. The demoniacs say that this world is unreal and there is no foundation, and that there is no God in control. It is produced of sex desire and has no cause other than lust. So Krishna knows everything, right? So beautiful. So he explains like how the demons see the world. So they don't see that, they say that everything has come out of nothing. And they say that Shastras are just a myth, right? Many of the time we have heard the mythology. So this is not a mythology. This is actually true. It's a history. And a study of Royal School of Study in London, Society of London, they did a research. And based on that, it is said that the people who go to school have 50% of them have lost belief in God because of our material books, right? So by that, they don't believe, because they believe whatever is mentioned in the science. And then 90% of them, I mean, the college going people, 90% don't have belief in God. And when 1%, the postgraduates, only less than 1%, they have belief in God. And when they even more higher, right? So the doctorate and these things, then 0.1% only they believe. So what is happening? So more the material knowledge, the person is actually becoming more arrogant, pride, and all these demonic qualities is coming. So because of that, he thinks that there is no God in control, and everything is from the, I mean, the science, or he believes more in science than on the scriptures. Etam drishtim avastabhya nashtatmano alpabuddhayaha prabhavanti ugra karmanaha kshaya jagato ahitaha. Following such conclusions, the demoniac who are lost to themselves and who have no intelligence engage in unbeneficial, horrible works meant to destroy the world. So thinking, because when you think, see, when we know that there is Paramatma in heart, so we don't get involved in any sinful activity, because I know that Krishna is watching me. So because when I see the Shastras, I understand, okay, if whatever is my consciousness, I mean, Krishna, if I think of Krishna, I can go to spiritual world. Otherwise, I can go to I can take birth in the lower species. So these informations are available only in Shastras. But since demoniac don't believe in all that, they engage themselves in all this unbeneficial work, and which will destroy others' peace also, right? So Prabhupada says, what was the need for creation of atomic bomb? So that is really to spoil, right? It will kill so many people. So what is this? These are all demonic quality only. That was no need of creating, because everything, the complete planet, it belongs to everyone. Actually, there should not be a boundaries to one country to other country. Prabhupada used to says like that in some place, that we should not, because everybody has right to go there. But then since we have so many selfish desires, and so my country should be on the top, the others I can spoil, I can kill them. So that kind of mentality is what making, in the name of advancement and of human civilization, what are we doing? The people are actually developing more of demoniac nature, becoming more violent and cruel. Taking shelter of insatiable lust and absorbed in the conceit of pride and false prestige, the demoniac, thus illusion, are always fond to unclean work attracted by the impermanent. So obviously the lust, more it is like more the ghee we put, it is more fire. So there is no end. So they think that, okay, little sense enjoyment I will do, maybe I'll be happy. But what happens? It is never satisfied. More and more you try to satisfy your senses ask for more. There is no end for it, right? So what happens from the lust? So this person, so he takes, so such person will be conceit of pride and false prestige. So obviously they are in unclean work, because they don't, if they want more money, right? They are very much attached to money and so what happens? They start taking bribe and these things, right? So these are all unclean work. So the person involves. So he want quick making money. So everything is quick fix, want immediate solution, right? And you want to accumulate more wealth. And these are all the demonic tendencies. So further, Krishna explains from 13 to 15, the demoniac person thinks, so much wealth do I have today, and I will gain more according to my schemes. So much is mine now, and it will increase in future, more and more. He is my enemy, and I have killed him, and my other enemies also will be killed. I am the Lord of everything. I am the enjoyer. I am perfect, powerful, and happy. I am the richest man surrounded by aristocratic relatives. There is none so powerful and happy as I am. I shall perform sacrifices. I shall give some charity, and thus I shall rejoice. In this way, such persons are deluded by ignorance. How many of you have seen such kind of people in your lives? Have you come across such people who are so arrogant and who are like, they take hatred to that level? Right? We see, we read in papers or in TV, it comes, right? So why people do all this killing and these things? Just because it will be some small thing, but then some lust, it will be basically greed and lust. This make person to go to that level, right? So here we can see that Hiranya Kashipu. So who was, when he come to know that his death will, his son was taking Vishnu name, Lord Vishnu, who was his enemy. So for all demons, usually the devatas are, the god is the enemy. So immediately he wanted to kill him, right? So that is what is their mentality. So whoever is my enemy, he will be killed. So similarly, the Ravana also. So Ravana also wanted to kill his sister immediately when he come to know that he will be killed by her 8th son. So, and also when they do, and here one more is Ravana, and the charity when they do, right? So he is very proud. I shall give charity. So he thinks that if he does charity and do all these nonsense other things, then he'll be saved. But Krishna is telling here that this is a demonic quality. Don't ever think that do all the wrong things and I engage in some charity and then all my papa will go. No, it will not. It is not like that. So the charity also they do based on, not to please the Lord, but to show off their wealth to others, right? To satisfy their own senses. So that is why they do. So this is called, this is all by ignorance. So the demoniac, perplexed by various anxieties and bound by a network of illusion, one becomes too strongly attached to sense enjoyment and falls down to hell. So if we are attached more, because illegally one person can earn money for his sense enjoyment, right? And then he thinks that only because of his own endeavor he was able to do, and he does not have any belief on God, Shastra, his karma. He don't believe on all those things. He don't believe in there is something in next life also, right? So this is an example of being in a illusion. Yeah. Ahankaram balam darpam kamam krodam cha samshritaha mamatma paradeheshu pradvishanto abhyasuyakaha. Bewildered by false ego, strength, pride, lust, and anger, the demon becomes envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is situated in his own body and in body of others, and blasphemes against the real region. So they don't believe in the God or scriptures, right? So they're envious of the God and also the scriptures. And they're not only doing violence to their own body, because they're also causing violence to others. Without understanding, Krishna says that without understanding that Krishna is there as Paramatma in the heart. So we see that Hiranyakashipu, who was meditating for thousands of years on Lord Brahma to become eternal, and when he was meditating, he was standing on one leg, and all his body was eaten, half of his body was eaten by the ants. So bones were visible. So such was his austerity. So but then why he is doing all that? But for some selfish cause. He wanted to lord over the devatas. He wanted to kill them. So that is what. So here we can see, who is this? Can you identify what is this pastime? Somebody knows what is this pastime? Who is this person? Huh?
Pardon?
Yeah, who is that person whom Krishna is killing here? Who is this guy?
Shishupala is known.
Yeah, it's Shishupala. Yes. So there was a Rajasuya Yagna which Yudhishthir Maharaj does, right? So after after in that there was to be, I mean, somebody has to be honored for a sacrifice. I mean, in that sabha, then everybody unanimously choose Lord Krishna, right? Everybody know Lord. So, but then he was very envious, the Shishupal. So he was from childhood, he was envious of Krishna, and he was always blaspheming. So what happens when he was a small child? So once one astrologer come and tell him, I mean, he had 4 hands actually. So his mother wanted to know from astrologer the reason. Then astrologer says that, okay, when the person who is going, I mean, from whom he is going to be get killed. So when that person touch him, that 2 hands fall off. So it happens that on his birthday, first year birthday, so Krishna comes there. So, and then when Krishna touch the baby, his hands fall down. So immediately his mother comes to know that, okay, Krishna is going to kill my son. So immediately she asked him that, please, because she's a mother, right? So she asked, please forgive my son. You have to forgive. Then he says that, I cannot forgive completely because his karmas are like that. He has to take it. Then he says that I will forgive him until he does 100 mistakes only. But above that, when he does, I'm going to kill him. So there in Sabha, in front of all, he starts blaspheming the Lord with very bad words. And then everybody stands up to fight with him or to kill him. But then Krishna stops because he had that promise given to his mother. And then he tolerates till he says 100, he blasphemes him. So then when he starts telling the 101th, and then Krishna leaves his Sudarshana Chakra, and then he was killed. So that is what they don't believe in the Supreme Lord. Those who are envious and mischievous, who are lowest among men, are cast by me into the ocean of material existence, into various demoniac species of life. So we learned in the previous chapters that how a person, like based on how the aroma is carried by the air, So similarly, the subtle body is carrying my desires and everything to next life, and based on Krishna's instruction to material nature, we get the next body. So here Krishna is telling that the person who is very envious and who is having all demonic qualities, Krishna will push them to be born in a the demon life, right? So Krishna says here, I will cast them into the ocean of material existence, into various demonic species. So life after life, he will only go into a demonic species, the different species, here it is said. So also in Ishopanishad, it says that Asurya nama te loka andhena tamasa vritaha tamste pretapi kachanti eke chatmahano janaha Asurya nama te loka. So the people who are not soul conscious or God consciousness, who are not caring about their soul, Atmahana, who is the killer of the soul, he'll go to where? Asurya Namaloka means where there is no sun. Because if there is no sun, obviously when there is no sun, it is said as ignorance, right? And also we can see that all bad things usually happen during night, right? When there is no light. So, but then usually in the daytime, it is less. The violence is less during the day. But nighttime, many things happen, the theft and all this also. And Srimad Bhagavatam also, Prabhupada gives in purport that it states in the Canto 3 that how based on the karma and the supreme will of Lord, a baby goes, as per karma, it takes birth in go to another womb of the mother. So similarly, Prabhupada says that these are all not accidental as we think. This 84 lakh species are coming from Krishna. It's not that all the species are already there. Nothing is new to be created. So, Asurim yoni mapanna mudha janmani janmani mam aprapyaiva kaunteya tato yanti adham gatim. Attained repeated birth among the species of demoniac life, O son of Kunti, such persons can never approach me. Gradually they sink down to most abominable type of existence. So Krishna do not have any mercy on the demons, right? We understand from this that Krishna do not show any mercy. So he is very strict. And in the chapter 11 also, where Krishna says that Arjuna, you are just like a nimitta matram bhavasavya shachin, means you are just an instrument, because all these people are already being killed as per my plan. So Krishna will not leave any people who are demonic, and he will not allow. And also he says in chapter 4 that yada yada hi dharmasya gnalir bhavati bharata apyuddhanam dharmasya tadatmanam yugeve. Whenever there is a decline of religion, so decline of religion means when people forget the religious, whatever is given in our scriptures. So people are not following that, when they become more attached to sense gratification, and then Krishna comes, right? So Glanir Bhavati. Glanir Bhavati means when there is a shortage, when the people are not on the dharma, following dharma, then Krishna comes. So here he says that they don't approach Krishna, they go to abominable species, right? So usually all the Varnashrama system is made such that in the Vedic time, so the Brahmana, everybody has their own duties to be performed. So based on the quality, so how the caste system was made? Chaturvarnyam maya srishtam gunakarma vibhagashah tasya kartaram apimam vidya kartaram apyayam. So Chaturvarnyam, all this division of society was made on guna karma. Guna means the quality one has, and the karma, the work one is involved. So based on that, this were done, and everybody were following that. So everything was leading to liberation, because gradually, whatever work you do, the center will be Krishna. So in that way, it was leading to liberation. But then, so here, when that is not followed, then Krishna will put them in the demonic species. So now the 3 gates of hell, Trividam Narakasyedam Dvaram Nashanam Kama Krodhastatalobhas Tasmade Tatrayam Trajet. There are 3 gates leading to this hell: lust, anger, and greed. Every sane man should give this up, for they lead to degradation of the soul. So we should not. So this, it is said, right? Shastra says, when the senses come in contact with the sense object, then the misery starts. So when our senses, when we use our 5 senses, right? So that engage in the sense object, when because we saw in the previous chapter, so that 5th chapter, right? So how the senses are very strong. What is that shloka? Like for an animal, different animal, like for a deer, the hearing is very strong, right? For the fish, the tongue, the taste is very strong. The elephant, the touch, that is very strong, right? The different senses, different animals, different senses are strong. But then for us, as a human being, for us, all senses are strong. So we have to be more careful. So only this lust, anger and greed are because of the more attachment to the sense gratification. So here Krishna says that a sane person, insane means mad. So one who has intelligence, he should not feed these things, these 3 things. So he has to give up, because it degrades even the soul. So for example, for lust, so the Draupadi, right? So that was very meaningful act which the Kauravas, they did, the Dushyasana and Duryodhana, insulting Draupadi in the assembly of all the big people. And then anger. So because of anger, they were wanted to kill, right? I mean, all of them, anger and enviousness. So greed, for greed it is towards Hastinapur, because it was greed of Duryodhana and Dhritarashtra, who didn't wanted to give which legally belonged actually to the Pandavas, but then it was greed which didn't allow them even to give 5 villages. So these are the 3 examples of lust, anger and greed. Eter vimukta kaunteya tamodvarisтрibhir naraha acharanti atmana shreyas tato yati param gatim. The man who has escaped these 3 gates of hell, lust, anger and greed, O son of Kunti, performs acts conducive to self-realization and thus gradually attains the supreme destination. So how can we develop this? So the person has to, we have to, so these are the things it is, so sense control is required, but how can it come? That is possible only from the spiritual knowledge, right? And then austerity, study of Vedas, like chanting. So what happens? All that initially, when we chant, it is said that all the bad qualities come out, in the sense, so many whatever is there in mind, everything, I mean, unnecessary thoughts or which we don't want to think about also, those thoughts come initially when we chant, but then it all get purified. More and more you chant, later the chant becomes more purified gradually. When we advance, like chanting is sincere, then we can chant more sincerely. So yeah. Okay, so the demons, they don't believe in God, but then they believe in Google. In the sense, in Kali Yuga, right? In Kali Yuga, people believe more on Google. So whatever is given in Google, they think it is as though it is given by Supreme Lord himself. So, but we should understand that whoever putting that information in Google is also a person behind it, right? There is also a person. It's not an imperson. Google is not an imperson. There's somebody person, and he also, the person is for 4 defects, right? So I think we'll get later. Yeah, it's here. So the person has 4 defects. How can that be perfect? Even the Google can be wrong. So that is why we have to go to Shruti Praman. Whatever is in our Vedas, it is coming as a Shruti Praman, which is perfect. The knowledge which is coming from Vedas and from Krishna, it's perfect. We have to take. So we human beings are bound to these 4 mistakes. We have these 4 things, commit mistakes. We get illusioned. We have imperfect senses. We have tendency to cheat others. So that is why we should not go to Google. If you want to have any reference, please refer a proper book which is coming from a bona fide sampradaya, if it is related to spirituality. So just like that, don't go and search in Google and get the info. And many people, what they do, they see in Google and then start arguing also, but that is right. And they can be Kora and these things, right? So it's all, we should not go by that. Yashastra vidim utsrijya vartate kamakarataha nasa siddhim avapnoti nasukam na parangatim. But he who discards scriptural injunctions and act according to his own whims attains neither perfection nor happiness nor the supreme destination. So the person who is involved, right? So in these things, he will never, right? That is why it is very important. We need to have a spiritual master. So when we, how we approach a spiritual master, and tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadeshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. So with that humility, when we approach, and from his mercy, we can understand this, right? So then we can be, he will, with this mercy, we can come out of all this anarthas. Tasmat chastram pramanam te karye vyavastitau Gnatva Shastra Vidhanoktam Karma Kartum Iharihasi. One should therefore understand what is duty, what is not duty by regulations of scriptures. Knowing such rules and regulation, one should act so that he may be gradually elevated. So our Shastras are said to be the mother and Krishna is the father. So if you have to know who is the father, the easiest way is to ask mother, right? So similarly, if we want to know about the Lord, then we have to take shelter of Shastra. So, and then for a person, the second birth is said to be the initiation. So when we take initiation, then our spiritual master become our father, right? So and it is so that it is said that when initiation is taken, he takes all our karmas. So all our karmas is gone. It is like a new birth. It's like, that is why it is said as a second birth when there is an initiation. All the karmas are gone, and then but we have to strictly follow whatever is the given by the acharyas. So we all have demons in us like Kamsa, Shishupal. So how do we overcome? By chanting, right? The chanting with purifies. So this is a thing, the GIGO method, or garbage in and garbage out, or good in or good out. So I think previously once I had showed you this, so but then here I thought, let me bring it. So everything starts with our thought, right? So thought in mind, it becomes our words, and the words become action. Action become a habit, and habit become a character. So we need to understand what is the root cause of our negative thinking or whatever thought which is getting. If our thought is very impure, so what is the reason for the impure thoughts? So once there was one professor, okay, so I was hearing this on YouTube. So once there was a professor, he was speaking to his students on the corridor, okay. So he was speaking to many students surrounded him. He was speaking, and he had a cup of coffee in his hand. So immediately somebody running came a student from somewhere. He hit the teacher, and the coffee spilled all over, right? And then what happened? The teacher was very calm. He remained very calm. He was very at peace. And then he questioned the two students. So what do you think the reason of the spilling? So then everybody gave their opinion, different opinion, right? So then one of them said that, okay, it may be because you are standing in a wrong place, because corridor, many people come and go. So because of the wrong place. And somebody also said that maybe that person is wrong because he should not be running and coming. He should have seen who is there. So some told that fault is at student, some told fault as teacher. But then teacher, after all the answers, he said that all are wrong. Then he said, because the cup is holding the coffee. And then he said, had it be holding the tea would have fallen all over, right? And then if it had an orange juice, it would have fallen, the orange juice would have fallen down. I mean, it would have fallen. So the reason behind this mind, why is a mind creating a bad thoughts, is because my mind is not pure. It is polluted. So why it is polluted? Because the thoughts, I mean, when we associate, when my mind is associated with good things, then the good thoughts will come. But then when I'm associating with the bad things, I mean, when I engage my senses in bad activities or sinful activities, then my mind is also become impure. And there's one more example he was giving in the lecture. Like if somebody throws garbage, right? Somebody, if they come into your near to you and throw some garbage, what will you do? You will immediately shout, right? That is a normal reaction. We shout on them. So, but then we don't like it. And also even the garbage, right? We don't keep the dustbin and all, like it is always kept inside. It is not kept openly. Nobody wants to show. Or even the house, we don't want to keep if a messy house. Everybody wants everything neat. So we see so much about the outer environment. We want everything clean. But then why we are not seeing on the inside? So inside we are keeping all those attachment, hatred, and these things, right? So that is a garbage. We are keeping inside all the garbage, hate, anger, greed, envy, and these things. But then that is the cause of an impure mind, right? So when a mind basically when is a material, mind is said to be a material. So it is mostly attracted to the material things. But then how to bring it back? We need to have an association with I mean, if your mind is attached to material, it becomes attached to material. But you attach your mind to Krishna, then it will be become purified, because Krishna is a Shuddham Apapa Viddham, Ishvopanishad says, because whatever get in association with Krishna also becomes pure. So, and Prahlad Maharaj also says in Bhagavatam that na swartagatim Vishnu. Na vidu, what is something is coming. Nate vidu swartagatim Vishnu means our real self-interest is in developing that relationship with the Lord. That is the real self-interest. We are thinking that I'm doing something big thing I'm doing. Actually, I'm doing for my own good if I'm taking spirituality seriously. So follow the ABCD of mind control. How can we control mind? With these 4 things: association, books, chant, and diet. The ABCD, easy to remember. A for association with devotees. Books, because Prabhupada's instruction is there. So even if somebody, Prabhupada is always there in his book. So it is like NND Prabhuji also, our temple president, His Grace Namanisha Prabhuji, he always mentions that when you read books, it is like you are having direct association with Prabhupada, because he gives us advice. And many times when you are really sincere, when you have questions, it may be anything from your material life. Sometimes it happens like you read exactly that you were looking for, right? It happens. So it happens like Prabhupada gives the answer through his books. So be in association of books, and then chant. So chanting is the purification of our soul. I mean, purifies the heart. And then diet. So diet also, because by eating Krishna Prasad, it's also our subtle body becomes purified, the mind, intelligence, right? So there's a one funny thing. Do you have problem in life? If we have problem, if there is S, so then again you have to question. Whenever we have a problem in life, yes, then can you do something about it? Yes. So then why worry, right? When you have problem and you know that you can have a solution for it, then no worry. And then if you cannot do, then also no worry, because when you understand, you can't do anything, right? So we can't do anything. Like, for example, we know that Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi, when you are come here, we have to face, you cannot escape from the disease, old age, right? We have already taken birth. Disease, old age, death is common. So just accept it. What is there to be afraid? But then can you do something about it? Yes. If you cultivate divine knowledge, the devotional service, you can come out of this cycle. So then become serious in the human life. So that's how. So it's a nice lesson. So chant Hare Krishna. So we all can chant together. Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So this is the Panchatattva, how to chant Mahakrishna. I think you all have already know, I believe. This is called as Panchatattva mantra. First we say and then we have to chant the Hare Krishna. Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. We all can chant together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you so much. Panchakalpatarubhyascha Krupa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Cultivation ki jai, Namacharya Vastakur ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So any questions on today's chapter? Hare Krishna. You can either post in chat or you can unmute and ask. All are unmuted. Hare Krishna. If anyone has any questions? No questions?
No questions, Mataji. You explained everything so beautifully.
Okay.
Yeah, you explained so beautifully, right?
Okay, thank you. So we need to work on the divine qualities, right? Do we have all those qualities? Do you all have, I mean, what is your thought about that divine qualities?
I don't think, Mataji, I have divine quality. I'm telling the truth, actually. I don't want to lie over here.
Yeah,
but I don't
true.
think I
No,
have
no,
divine quality.
yeah, even I don't have all. It is very difficult.
things
Maybe we
go-
may have, maybe in some occasions we may have few,
But
and not all the
we
time.
only when the things goes according to my way, then I can say I'm divine. Otherwise, I'm always in demonic mode.
True, true.
The
Yes,
only
Mataji.
quality
But
I
now
have
at the age of
is I'm
50,
attending Gita
I
classes
know.
regularly.
Yeah. So you have to continue that. It's not just 18 days. You have to continue that. Yes.
But
Jai
if you
Mataji.
keep yourself
I have a doubt,
on the
actually.
path of wisdom,
Yeah, who was that? Yeah, Jai Mataji was saying something.
Jaya.
Yeah.
If you keep keep oneself on the path of wisdom and in the company of all the means virtuous people or granthas, then automatically you are on that
Yes.
path.
Yeah.
Now,
Yes.
as I am 58 and I close all those windows that are useless. So I can say that yes, I am on the path, in a perfect path. And sometimes yes, sometimes the superficial things also means overpower us.
Sometimes,
It is for some
Mataji, sometimes with your current life and sometimes from previous life, somebody we see that very engaged they take, right? Some children we see like they take it.
Yeah.
So it's all like it not actually the age is not a factor actually. So anytime the wisdom is actually it can be there even in small age for some children.
And means when you wake up, there is a dawn.
Mataji, your voice is breaking somewhere. Hare Krishna. Maybe if you switch off your camera and then speak, maybe the net will be better. Yeah, you were saying something, Jai Mataji.
Yeah, it's continuous process actually, but you have to keep observing yourself, your thoughts and everything at every moment. Means you should be in aware of what you are thinking, how you are behaving and everything. So every day you have to take the account of yourself and introspect yourself. Then only then you can, means in a satsang, then you can remain on that path. Otherwise,
Yeah, true.
there are so many
Yeah,
things
if
that
we have that like true association where
Yeah.
they can tell genuinely like to correct me, right? Otherwise, most of the time people will not really tell for your good. That can be of a more of a sarcasm also in the outside world. If they want to point out mistakes, that may not be really for your growth. So really, we don't know like from whom to take it, right? So yeah, so the association is also very important. Thank you, Mataji. Yes, Neha Mataji, you had some question. Hare Krishna, Neha. You had a question.
Mataji,
Yeah.
Mataji, actually, I just wanted to say that, like, if you always feel content with what you have,
Hmm.
then you will not like be motivated for like,
Yes.
progressing.
You
Is
not
it
have?
bad to like? Is it bad to gain more money, like to work hard to gain money,
See, it
or to
depends
gain
who is
fame?
saying, right? Okay. In the material world, yes, people will say that it is not good. But when it comes to spiritual life, it is required because that gratitude only is required. Otherwise, we'll be more on behind money, then we real forget what is the aim of life, no? So if there is a gratitude, then only you look like what is above, like it is not just money. So there is something higher to it, higher in life. So that we will get only when that satisfaction is there. Otherwise, you will be always behind money only, no? More and more money. So that is good actually. That's a good quality, being contented.
So then you're
In
not
that.
motivated to grow actually. Matlab, spiritually, yes, you will not grow, but materially,
Spiritually you should be having like how like I mean in spiritual life you should not be much contented how much ever I mean it is said that you should be laulyam, like laulyam means you should be more greedy to know. In spiritual life we need to learn more, that greediness it should be there, means everything is there. Okay, whatever we have, that greed, desire, everything, only we have to dovetail it, which is material now, but make it a spiritual. So yeah, we should not be more endeavoring to for in the material life. That is what Shastra say. So it is good if you do, and then we if your aim is to like, okay, I become like, just like if we take Amrish Das Prabhu, who is given the 500 crore for Mayapur temple, right? So obviously he will be working hard and he's earning. So but then he's giving that money to Krishna. So that is, then you're like, it will become a karma yoga. So if you are having a aim, I want to do something for helping people by giving this divine knowledge. In that way, if we work hard, keep that higher aim, higher goal. So then, yeah, it is good.
you mean to say we need to channelize like it towards
Yeah. Yes.
spirituality.
So it should not be only for sense gratification. I want to earn more and I have more aim, but then you
Right.
should have your aim such that at least when we earn more, if I am able to give to for a temple or for people who are doing this spreading of Krishna consciousness, then that is a good work, no? That is a good.
Right. Mataji. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I
Hare Krishna.
actually love your accent. You're from which place?
Bangalore.
Okay. You have a lovely accent actually.
Is it?
I'm
I
from
don't.
Dehradun.
Oh, nice. Oh, thank you.
You're from Mangalore or Bangalore, Mataji?
See, actually, my father's place is Bangalore, but then we are all brought up in Bangalore only. So
Okay.
I will rather say Bangalore now.
Okay, Bengaluru.
Bengaluru.
I'm going to Mayapur Dham this Sunday. The Gita Course is getting over.
Hari Bol. Yes. So next week, your level 2 classes will start. And
Yes.
also, I don't know if the group we are sharing, Jagannath Puri Yatra is there from October 10th to 14th. If anyone of you wish, maybe, I don't know, if it is posted in group, then you can join us. So there's 4-5 days yatra from ISKCON Mangaluru. So October 10th, we are going. You need to reach, and then October 14th is the return.
Have you visited the birthplace of Srila Prabhupada when he came to Calcutta last year, you said, while going to Mayapur Dham?
Mayapur, birthplace of Prabhupada. Where was we went to that Mayapur. We went few islands, and where Prabhupada stayed. Not for Prabhupada's birth. I don't think we went.
Okay.
I'm not able to.
It's in
recall
proper
that.
Calcutta
Where
only.
exactly?
It's in
Oh,
Calcutta, proper
Okay,
Calcutta.
we didn't go to Calcutta actually. We went only to Mayapur.
ISKCON Calcutta has taken possession of that place now.
Okay. So proper Calcutta we didn't go actually. I mean, we didn't visit any places.
Okay.
Just from the in the Mayapur only.
Okay, right, Mother.
Hare Krishna. Okay, any other questions? Anybody is interested in joining Jagannath Puri Yatra? Let me know.
I've been to Puri many times, Mataji, but yes, it's a
Okay.
place. I mean, you can go as many times as you want. You always feel like going there over and over again.
Oh, nice. Very nice. So for me, it is first time.
Oh, great place, nice place.
Nice. So you had been during Yatra? So
No,
recently
not
there was
during
Yatra.
Yatra. During Rath
I was
Yatra, it is
very
actually
proud of.
impossible to go.
I know.
Lakhs and lakhs of devotees throng that place. So you have to
Yeah.
plan well in advance to go during Rath Yatra festival.
Okay. Yeah.
Otherwise, also throughout the year, if you go to the temple, the thing is, you will not feel like coming out of the temple. You will spend there hours and hours, and you will not even realize how many hours have passed by.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the greatness of the temple.
Yeah, because Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was there. So I want to go there. Yes. Okay.
Nice place. You'll enjoy a lot.
Nice. Awaiting. Looking forward.
For us, it's overnight journey. So we keep going there.
Oh, okay. Nice. Yeah. Okay. No questions. Shall we close? Okay. Hare Krishna. I all Vancha Kalpataruvescha Krupa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo Ananta Koti Vaishnavindra Ki Jai. Namacharya Rashtra Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Thank you everyone. Hare Krishna. See you all tomorrow.
Thank you,
Krishna.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.